really enjoyed the time that I have already started to implement some of the amazing things that Katie has suggested. The first being bringing 55,000 into my business, which could be fantastic if that comes off. So yeah, I'm super happy and really recommend the CEO membership. It's great.
Hi, and welcome to our 30 students in 3 days shop. Very excited to be with you this week. I'm your host, Katie Cannon. I'm the founder of Gold Medal Business, and I thought it was really important just before we're about to go live to share with you a little bit about my journey, because if you're anything like me, anyone I want to learn from to take me to the next level of my business, I want to know they've been there, done it, and they got the t-shirt. I've been in this industry for nearly 20 years now. I started in 2008, and I was very much a gymnast. I was a British champion for 5 years, did 2 worlds, 2 Europeans, and over the last 20 years, have had every experience within this industry. I've had experience with the franchise model. I've had a network of over 100 after school and curriculum classes in schools. I've had village halls, I've had leisure centres, I've had permanent premises. I've shut down permanent premises. I've also had amazing experiences with building teams and bad experiences with teams, and everything in between, from systems, customers, processes, anything you can think of, I've done it. And one of the why I really believe what makes Gold Medal so special in the marketplace today is I not only train you from 20 years of experience, I'm also still in the market today. I opened a brand new facility last week. So I not only train you from 20 years of experience, but also what's working now, what worked for us literally last week, and how are we going to help our clients achieve that, and what results. And that is why I really believe we get the results we do with our clients. Now, apart from business, I'm also a mum of 3. I've got a 10-year-old daughter and 2 boys, 6 and 2. And I share that with you because I'm all about business and family. I don't want you to build a business that absorbs every ounce of your time, and by the end of it, you build a phenomenal business, but there's nothing else around you. That is not what we're about at all. We're wanting you to create balance, flexibility. Yes, of course, different seasons of your life are going to have different strengths, and it's going to look different. But in general, you're creating a life and you're creating a great business alongside it. So that's a bit about my background, and we're going to get to know each other very, very well over the next couple of days. What you can expect in the next 3 days together, we're live for an hour each day. If you cannot make the recording, if you cannot make the live stream, sorry, we are on record. So we have multiple different time zones tuning in. If you can be present and live, that's when we are going to be given some really great bonuses. So do what you can this week to be live. You'll get so much more out by asking questions whilst we're live. So do what you can. Doesn't matter where you are. Just do what you can to be live with us. But this week is all about setting you up for 2026 and making sure 2026 is an incredible transformational year for you. We're going to be teaching you the real fundamentals that you need to be having and the foundations that you need to be having in your business to really grow strong this year, as well as 4 years in the future. So come ready to learn, be inspired, and really ready to have a real fresh approach and a fresh eyes and fresh mindset on your business. I'm so excited to be working with you this week. Let's get started.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to our day 2 of our 30 students in 3 days. If you haven't day 1 yesterday, please go back and watch them. They don't necessarily have to be in order, but if you can, make sure you've watched that one before the next one. It will definitely support you. But please go back and watch them. You've been sent to your email, and it's also been popped into the Facebook group as well. So before we start, I'm seeing so many familiar faces that I wanted to give a big high five to. I'm seeing Steve, Stephen, I'm seeing LJ, I'm seeing Gary, I'm seeing Billy, Benita, I think that's Benita, apologies if I got that wrong. We've got Alicia, we've got Sam, I've got seeing lots of names that are popping up on Zoom and on live streams. So why I say congratulations is when I'm seeing the same names popping up again and again, and you were live yesterday, we see who is the committed entrepreneurs, who are willing to turning up again and again and are consistent in their journey, because business, as we know, is all about consistency. If you haven't yet got your workbook, please make sure you do. So I want you just to put workbook in the chat box if you haven't got it yet. It's also been sent on email to you. How to use your workbook. Just like I said yesterday, I don't want you to be heads down writing absolutely everything I say. That's not the aim of this week. I want you to implement. That's the only way you're going to get results. And I just want you to be present, cameras on. So please, please, please. I said this yesterday, I do not like speaking to blank screens. Please put smiley faces on, put the videos on. And the way to work with your workbook is just like bulb moments. Whatever's coming up, whatever you think, yeah, that grabbed me. Or need to work that. Some of you might be doing, need to redo. Some of you need to refine. Okay, it all depends where you're at in your business. Today on day 2, as we start to go into internal marketing. As on day 1 yesterday, as I said, it's a 2-part system that we teach in Gold Medal with your marketing and to generate new students. Now, this is a massive system. I could teach this for weeks and weeks. And I said, I'm off to Australia to be a keynote speaker, which I'm very excited about, end of next week. And I'm presenting, what I'm presenting you is a lot more in depth, but I'm talking for 2 days, over 6 and 7 sessions on marketing. So these are the key points that I've pulled out that I really want you to start with to get your marketing journey on par and to get it moving in the right direction. I want to share with you before we got started. It's so funny with dreams. I'm actually in one of my premises now. I'm literally in one of the changing rooms as I'm here on a Wednesday. And I literally had the funniest dream last night. I thought I've got to share this with you. So it was obviously in my mind. Whenever I do my launches, I'm at home. I'm very rarely within my gym premises. And obviously it's very relevant. I think I've got a baby change area to my right here. And I literally, in my dream, I was trying to present to you whilst being across like 7-8 locations. So I was trying to host an event over 45 minutes together. And I was in one office. Then I got in the car. Then I drove to a restaurant. Then I drove to a pub. And then I drove back to my office, and then I took you on the school pickup with me. And I was laughing my socks off because I was like, I got to the end of it. It's like, my gosh, we've still got about 50 people live. I've done well because I've taken them on a journey. I don't know what they learned because I don't know what I said because I was jumping in out the car. But I wanted to share that with you because it was so random. But I obviously I'm presenting in a different place tomorrow. So it's really, really funny. So I just wanted that with you. If the Wi-Fi is why I don't always do it here on a Wednesday today because I'm away from end of next week. So I wanted to make sure we got this in for you today through this week. If the Wi-Fi is a bit weird, I just want you to put Wi-Fi in the chat box. It's mostly strong. I've done a couple of one-to-one calls this morning, so it should be fine. But if it goes a bit weird, I just want you to put Wi-Fi in the chat box. Amazing. So now I've filled you in about my dream last night. Let's get cracking. So today we're going to be going on to internal marketing. As I said yesterday, we touched a little bit on external marketing. Today is internal. Bit of a recap from yesterday. One thing I'm very passionate about teaching is you have a whole, literally 360 marketing wheel around your marketing. You're making sure you're getting really laser focused, refining your processes and systems, external front-end marketing and your internal marketing. Like I said yesterday, it's important. I talk to so many clients when I'm looking from any level, and to give you an idea, whether you're 10 days into your business or you're 20 years into your business, I see this at every single step of the way, where there's holes everywhere in the business, where marketing might be coming, but we're losing it just as fast off the back end. We tighten all procedures and all refinement around every area, we often don't have to work as hard at the top. It's a lot easier to work internally than it is from the top end. So I said today, I've picked out a few areas that we teach in our internal marketing system for you. And I'm going to start. And before we do this, I just want to share, just put in the chat box and just put on the live streams for me one thing, because I said we pull this up at the end as well to see who needs support in areas. One thing that you've learned from yesterday's call that you've gone away and you've thought about and you've started implementing, just pop it in the chat box in the live streams and we'll pull it up in a little while to address for you. So section 1 on our internal marketing section. Now, internal marketing, I'm going to teach you, it's basically in 5 steps. I said our internal marketing is a lot bigger than what I'm teaching you today, but I've pulled out some of the key ones that I think will be really significant for you to get started on. So section 1 in our internal marketing is your front end customer connection, which could be, we call it, it could be your enrollment follow-up process, your enrollment system. You could have so many different names for this, but this is your front end. This is basically when a customer, first of all, comes into your organization. This is your customer. They've come through your Facebook ad or whatever means you're using externally. They've come into your world. This is one of the first steps where I see people losing customers because they're not hot enough on the front end. So you want to ensure, and I hope many of you have got this in place already. I see many companies that have this in place, but normally there's a lot of refinement around the edge that needs to be done to make it really, really efficient and profitable. So your enrollment process, a few things that I want you to think of. Your enrollment process is a series of emails and texts to enroll that customer. You can build this out pretty easily into a CRM system that is automated. Now, the difference, once you've got those emails and texts that are all set up, that enrolling that customer, it's emails and texts around why should they come to you, the bits of coming to you, what you can do for their child, testimony, making sure that everything's got a call to action. That is your basic enrollment funnel to get your cold lead and start to warm them up. That is the automation piece. The second piece of your enrollment funnel, which is where I really see businesses fly when they do this correctly, is the sales element. So it's making sure you're not just solely relying on your automation. You've got that sales process next door to the automation to really pull the lead through a lot quicker. You want to have, now you can do this in a database, you can do this in your CRM, you can do this on a basic old spreadsheet. I really recommend, especially how big your business is, that you don't have it on a spreadsheet, otherwise it will become an absolute nightmare. But you want to have all sections that your sales team can drive that customer through, starting with new leads. So let's say you've got new customers coming through the funnel. They're going into your new leads section. Anything new leads, new customers. We then have it set up where we might have a liaison column. That's everybody that you've called that has spoke to you, that is interested. We then have a column that will say call 1, call 2, and call 3. In those particular sections, it means they may have had 3 calls without picking up, without no interaction. So we pretty much know by call 3, they're not really a hot lead anymore, because those calls would have happened over around 7 to 10 days. Every 3 days, they're getting a call. We will then move them into a different section, which is called, we call it not trialed, which means that they've basically come into our world and we've had no connection with them. Those leads get touched on and called at a later date. But the reason I'm sharing this process with you is because so often we see leads being maybe touched once, like called once, emailed once, or the automation we expect to fly, and there's no personal connection, and therefore the enrollment funnel is working. It's just not efficient enough because there's not any personal connection. So when anybody comes to me and I'm looking at businesses, first of all, it's always diagnosing the issue, diagnosing like what is the problem. And often it's not, someone might say, I'm really struggling with my enrollment. Well, that doesn't mean to me, it could be a sales issue. That's not a Facebook issue or external marketing issue. That could be working. Your leads might be coming in. We've just got a sales issue and they're not converting. So when you're doing your enrollment follow-up, I want you to think of when you've got your processes in place and then you know your customers are getting emails and texts, but also they are getting a personal connection as well. Picking up the phone, I know it might sound old-fashioned, but picking up the phone goes a long way. It really, really goes a long way. You will literally convert another 20-30% of customers, or many will enroll automatically by themselves. Fantastic. But to really refine your model and to bring your margins up, you've got to delve into your percentages and your margins. So really delve into, if we give those ones an extra personal connection, we give them an extra phone call, do they have more questions? I know as a busy parent, sometimes the intention of signing them this week, but it just doesn't happen. Something's got in the way. If you called me and I could do it there and then on the phone and it's done in a couple of minutes, you've got me in. If you say, I'll leave it to your own devices, sometimes it could be next week. So often I hear of, I'm a bit skeptical, or am I doing the right thing by calling? I'm badgering them, I'm bothering them. You are only bothering them if you're calling a couple of times a day. They have enrolled, they have given you details. This is not a cold lead. So if you've called them on the Monday, you haven't heard from them, then you call them again on the Wednesday, then you call them again on the Monday. That is sales. That is connection. You're trying to help them. If they turn around and they say, I'm really not interested, please take me for your database, not a problem. Take them off, delete them. But they've given you their details. And I can't tell you how many times I'm in the office and I hear our sales team and they're like, they say, thank you so much for calling back. I've been meaning to contact you. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm interested in the Monday 4 p.m. class. So never feel like you're bothering people, as long as it's strategically placed. And because if you're calling daily or every day, then yeah, you're harassing them slightly. Okay. So you will find Bonnie, I've just seen your message come up. I'm just going to address this because I'm not finding phone calls this benefit. I'm just going to address this before I move on to the next one. Hang on. 2 secs. So Bonnie, not finding phone calls this beneficial. Most of the time I leave a message and I hear nothing back. I usually text them immediately after the call. Okay, so you've just got to look at your metrics. You've got to look at your numbers. If you're calling, say 10 people and I bet 6 will not pick up the phone, then you'll get 2 or 3 that will pick up the phone. It's looking at your percentages and working out, if you're calling 300-400 people and you've got 1 person pick up the phone, then something needs to be addressed there, because your numbers are way off. But if you're getting a good, like 10-20% of people picking up, that's a good percentage, especially when it comes to phone calls. Remember, this is to your armor, basically. This isn't just the only communication they're getting. They're getting emails and text messages as automation. So it's really important you know your numbers. But it is consistent. Call them once and think that's not worked. You're not going to know your numbers and it's not going to work. But they need a second call. They might need a third call. Call them after a third call. They then go into the next section and they might get a call once every quarter. But whilst they're a hot lead and they're 2 weeks into our world, we will address it. Okay. So Bonnie, yeah, you need to keep going. You have to be consistent on that. And yeah, you will get a lot of people. You will get a lot of voice notes. But they are hot leads. They've come in. If you've done the front end marketing correctly, then they are hot leads. They are interested. It might not just be now. It might be logistics. But a phone call often diagnoses. If they pick up, they then will tell you what the answer is, what's not of interest, and what is. So I would say keep going on that, but you have to know your numbers. That's really, really important. So section 1, guys, is all about, in your internal marketing, front end is ensuring you have got your follow-up, your enrollment follow-up absolutely nailed, okay? That will take time. And if you're a team of 1 and it's you doing it, track your numbers. Eventually, it won't be you doing this, and you will have a team making the phone calls for you. But just remember, there is no traffic on the extra mile. In today's world, with ChatGPT, with automation, with tech, we are more honored than ever with what we have at our fingertips. But the biggest thing that's missing, the biggest thing that will stand you out from your competition is going the extra mile, making that personal connection. They might not pick up the phone. You might leave 2 voice notes, but you know what? They might enroll a week later with the email that you've sent them. It's making you, they might be just seeing an email, and then they hear a voice note and they're like, oh yeah, I do need to action that. It's that extra touch. We all hear it takes 7, 8 times for someone to hear about you before they come into your world, before they act on it. It might take a leaflet. It might take word of mouth. It might take them entering your email funnel 3 or 4 times before actually being like, yeah, do you know, I am going to book a trial. So it's that consistency. But throughout my children's activities, they do swimming, they do gymnastics, they do tutoring, football. Okay, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Tennis. Okay, there's our top 5. Out of all of them, there's one company that actually calls, and I know it's one of the biggest companies out of all those 5 that I just mentioned that the children go to. And the reason is I have actually taught them. They actually came to me first for mentoring, and then my children enrolled. They were a very local company to us, but they have a bigger company than the rest of the other companies my children go to. Their enrollment is very, very good because they go the extra mile. They have a connection with their customers. And always remember, we're teaching children. So yes, 60% needs to be automated, 100% use it. But never forget, lean in to the bit that's going to make you stand out. It's really important in today's world more than anything. Think of Instagram, think of any social media. Whenever we send a personal voice note, we get replies. Why? It's not a robot. We are real people. They can tell we care, we've gone out of our way, we've sent them a personal message. It converts every time. Because people know what's automated. People are completely clued up now about what's automated, what's not. Does this company care? They're working with children. We're working with children. Do I go to this company over here that offers the same, or this one? Which one wants my business the most? Okay, because yes, it's a competitive world. It's not competitive if you do the extra things that do take a little bit more time, but they put you above and they think, do you know what? They're a really lovely company. I've actually spoke to them on the phone. Yeah, they call up, and we're going to go on through the next couple of days, today and tomorrow, into building this more and more. So section 1 said all about your enrollment process. Section 2, we're now going to go on to the meaty bit that's going to cover today and tomorrow. So we're looking at, in terms of internal marketing, we call them the 4 R's. So we're looking at your reactivation, your renewals, your referrals, and your retention. This part is a piece of the puzzle that, as I said at the top, it's all about really beefing up your business. So you're not just relying on front-end marketing, and you're making sure the bottom is super, super laser tight. So the 4 R's, I'm going to start with reactivation. But why are we doing this? Now, as I said, it's about making sure your business has solid foundations. But I see all the time, and it said, it doesn't matter how big or small your company is, or how long you've been in business, or how much experience you've got. Even when it's a bigger company, I see these are basics in your company. These are basics that you have to refine. And often, the bigger the company, the more the basics go out the window, or you forget to do what actually got you to where you are now, or where you may have been previously. So these basics, when you're growing a company, and I remember when I was in a big scaling mode for our businesses a good few years ago, I remember my mentor, and this has always stuck with me. Simplicity scales business, complexity kills your business. In today's world, more than ever, basics and refinement is what's going to make you win in the market today. It's not about a new premises. It's not about a new gym. It's not about new classes, a new court, a new studio. It's not about that next member of staff. It's getting really shit hot at the basics. Getting those basics super refined so that you then can build on that strong structure. So Reactivation, I want you to treat this. So we're going to start, I said the 4 R's. We're starting talking about reactivation. Today we're going to do reactivation and renewals. Tomorrow we're going to talk about referrals and retention. So with reactivation, I want you to treat this exactly the same structure that I just taught you with the enrollment process. You are seeing this as a sales section of your business. This is a campaign that deserves just as much love and attention as you give your enrollment funnel of fresh, new, lovely customers. So often we look at like maybe retention, reactivations, renewals. It gets as a bit of a side note. You know, when we kind of do that bring a friend leaflet, and I know good when I used to stop, when I didn't think about this in the way I think of it now, in the early days of business, it'd be like, all right, we need to get a few numbers in. Let's do a bring a friend leaflet. We'd whack one out. No one talks about it. After it's given out maybe for a couple of days and that's it. And then we move on to the next thing. Anyone can relate to that? Yeah, put your hand up, give me a wave. Or you whack it, you pop it out there and you think, oh, that'll do the job. Just like when you're trying to fill up an event and you think, I'm just going to do one email. Let's hope to see who comes back. Doesn't work. It's a campaign. Think the whole process, nurturing that customer. Think of it as a big sales campaign. That might look like 3 emails, 3 or 6 emails over the course of a couple of weeks. It's still a campaign. Don't think a campaign must have to be this massive long thing that takes about 12 months to deliver. But when you think of it, okay, that's still my sales system. You will give it a whole different mindset. We used to, when we still do holiday camps, but when we used to work in this model, we used to do holiday camps and we used to whack out a few emails and I'd hope for the best. And then it'd be like, no one's interested. Bookings are crap. I haven't had many coming in. Why? I've sent about 2 or 3 emails over the course of 2 weeks. We got a few involved, but you know, it wasn't until we treated it like a campaign. I had people on the phones, calling them, enrolling them, calling our customers, letting them know about what's coming up, letting them know about the camp that's coming up. That's when our numbers soared, because people, we see it in gold medal business as well, my friends. It's not just the gyms, it's all industries. We're working with humans, okay? We have so many people, they've had the emails, they might have even had the text, not a clue who we are. Scooby-Doo, not a Scooby-Doo. They think, I did register for that workshop, I didn't get any details. And then when they look, oh, I actually did. Oh, so sorry. Yeah, but life's busy. Yeah, we have a lot of information thrown at us. So that's where the connection with the automation, rocket fire. So reactivation, think the same way. It's a campaign. It deserves a place as a campaign in your full marketing plan. Remember yesterday, we talked about building your marketing plan and what it should look like. Build it in funnels. You can make it as creative, as fancy, as non-fancy as you wish. But our reactivation campaign will literally have, it's like a sales process, emails and texts within it, but it will also have people in their right categories. So we maybe have people that are not interested, that have said, no, generally not interested. Please don't email us. We will still keep their email so we can make sure we don't email them, but we can make sure they're not duplicating at all in the system and we don't annoy anybody. We will then have any old clients that we want to reactivate. So all the old clients are in. We also put them in categories of their age. Were they part of the preschool program? Were they part of the 4 to 6 program? Were they part of our 8 to 12 year program? What did they do when they were a client of ours? Because then when you are reactivating them, and we please, this is something to do in slow periods of your business. So do not do this when it's heavy enrollment. For us in the UK, September, October is huge. January, February, big months. April, May, big months. You will not get any of my team doing reactivations during those months because it's heavy enrollment on the front end. Your external marketing, that's heavy on the front end. So you give priority, and your marketing schedule throughout the year will give priority when you build it out correctly. What does the front end, when are we doing external marketing? When are we really working? When are we focusing on internal marketing? Because you don't have to do all of these things every single week, 365 days of the year. If you're doing it consistently, you might be like, do you know what? January and February, external marketing, heavy promotion. March is all about internal. That's okay because it's structured. Then you might go April, May, heavy enrollment on the front end. Then you might say, you know, June and July, let's really focus on internal. When you've got it consistent, it's not about constancy, it's about consistency. Doesn't matter if you're doing that every 2 months. External marketing, you need to make sure that is running all the time if you want continual news in your business. But internal marketing, as long as it's consistent through the year, it doesn't have to be something that it's all the time, every week, every Monday, I have to do this. So if you're a one-man band and you're thinking, how do I get all this done? Build it carefully. If you've got a team, easy. You can start building it into their rhythm of their schedule. So with reactivation, you have non-interested section, you'll have the old clients. And then not only said, every now and then we have a 3-month cycle. They go out, they're getting emails, they're getting texts about rejoining us. We make it personal to them. So if it was a preschooler, we're not sending them details about our classes if they're 8 or 9. We're talking their language. We're talking what the parent wants to hear. If they were 1 year old when they came, we start at 6 months. If they were 1 year old when they came to us, and now they might be looking at their records, they might be near 2. Let them know about our next level classes for them. Doing that mixed with automation with a phone call. It adds the touch to the email. It brings it to life. It's a voice. It's a contact. And if they say, oh, it's not ready for me now, no problem. Do you want us to keep you on our database? No, please remove me. We've now moved house. Not a problem. We've moved out the area. But this is just as much as a reactivation campaign as it is a cleaning your list campaign. You should always know, we talk about this more a little bit tomorrow, but this is one section in our silver mentorship and our gold mentorship we dive so deep into. It's knowing the power in your hands on who's actually a customer of mine now and next week. Who could potentially come into my world in the next 2 months? When you clean out your list regularly, you know who you're working with. You haven't just got a database full of 5,000 people and you think, oh, they were with me at one point, but I'm coming in next week. So it gives you a handhold on sales that are actually like real time, that are actually going to be real sales in your business. And this helps the efficiency of your cash flow without a doubt. So reactivations, treat it exactly like a campaign and give it the time it deserves rather than just think of it as an extra thing. I'll just send an email and see who's interested. Give it the time and energy it deserves. We all know if you give something the time and energy it deserves, you normally get the results. And please, if you do this once, you don't get much, do it 2 months later, do it again. You're still cleaning out the list. Then maybe do it again 3 or 4 months later in quieter times. Keep it consistent. I said this yesterday when you're doing your Facebook ads, when you're doing your external marketing, don't just do it once or twice or go for a big month and go for gold and hope it's going to work. It won't. Save your money. Don't bother. Don't waste the effort. Everything. People always say to me, Katie, what has been the magic unicorn to your business? What is the magic? I get asked this all the time. What's the magic to build student numbers? And I'm like, do you know what? Hard work, smart hard work is what I'm calling it. Smart hard work consistently over time. Okay, people in gold medal business, we've had some incredible results over the last 6 months, 6 to 12 months. Our community is really grown in the last 12 months. But gold medal business opened 3.5 years ago. I built my first gym nearly 18 years ago. So yes, it's not a quick win overnight. It's not something that like, oh my gosh, wow, you've built that overnight. You're lucky. That was easy. No, that's 20 years of hard graft nearly. Of learning, growing, failing, learning, growing, failing, consistent, showing up. When I did my first launch, like you're watching now, guys, we had over 350 people register for this launch. My first one, I had 15. And yes, I spoke to no one. I just waved at myself on camera. I just spoke to like a few people watched the replays, but not many, okay? Think of the same, consistency. Your business is the same. And when you really master that campaign energy, and that sales energy, it's all growth, it's all marketing, it's all sales. So once you learn the real fundamentals, the world's your oyster on where you can take it. It's incredible and it gets super, super exciting in your business. So far we've covered in your internal marketing, guys, we've talked about your enrollment follow-ups. We've talked about your reactivations. Now, before I go on to renewal today, I just wanted to touch on, yesterday we launched our silver mentorship for you. And we had a few questions that popped up, so I just wanted to address these questions for you. Now, our silver mentorship, we have 2 levels at gold medal. We have silver, keep it in tune with the theme. We have silver and we have gold. Silver is very much our first step in. Silver mentorship is great if you've not had tuition before or any mentorship. You're really wanting support with core, key, foundational systems that are going to build your business, from marketing, from finance, to building your team, to personal development, to organization. It's going to teach you all the core foundations that you need to really build a successful, but most importantly, build a sustainable business in this industry. We teach you the core foundations that you need that aren't going to be here today, gone tomorrow. It's the core foundations I've used over 18 years of me being in business, and they are still more relevant today than they've ever been. So the silver mentorship is a great one for you to look at if you're serious about growth this year, if you're wanting to stop the guessing game, if you're wanting to have a community surrounded by children's activity entrepreneurs all doing the same thing as you, that you can bounce off ideas. That in itself is absolutely gold dust. And you're wanting to have weekly accountability where someone can hold your hand. We have 2 calls a week. They are recorded. We work across 4 different time zones. So if you can't be live, it really doesn't matter. We have Q&A where you have access to my team of coaches, and you have a training call each week with myself. I said they are group calls. So our silver mentorship is, I said, it's a 12-month program. You don't have to be in it for 12 months. It's a 2-month minimum commitment. And it's normally $149 a month, but during our workshop, it's £99. It's an absolute steal that expires tomorrow night, midnight. And that is all the support that I've gone through. It's a hybrid of self-study mixed with accountability calls each week. So I hope I've answered some of the questions there that have come in overnight about our silver mentorship. Yesterday, you've heard me talk about the marketing system and pulling in your marketing plan for 2026. We have a special bonus for anyone who's live with us and actions this before the end of play tomorrow evening. Anyone who pays in full, so you commit to the 12 months and you pay in full, you get the full marketing plan designed for you by my team. That in itself is a £500 system. So that is, if you're serious about commitment in your business, that's an absolute steal, because it will really save you hours and hours of time and commitment going into 2026. So Glia, my wonderful assistant, can you just pop the link for silver mentorship in the box below, guys? I do have, if you have a few more questions at the end, I've got a few minutes that I'm going to stay on after today's training and I can answer them for you. But as I said, that's valid. That offer is valid till end of play tomorrow evening, and then it goes up back to $149, which is its normal monthly price. But it's a fantastic program for you to get the support you need to get moving in your business with all the core processes to improve your student numbers, finances, team, the whole shebang, to really give you the foundation you need to scale. Okay, lesson 3 today, activations. We've done enrollment. Just want to briefly touch on renewals in your business. Now, just as I've taught today, your renewals, please, again, don't just think. You'll see there's a theme, there's a flow, and that's done for a reason. The renewals, again, treat it like a campaign. It's not an email out, hope for the best. It comes with designated focus, email setup, text setup, mixed with phone call as well. That personal connection is huge. So anything renewal based in your business, if you've got monthly registrations, these should be set up on autopilot to renew on a monthly basis. But if they are not, your registration fees and annual payments, make sure you are calling your customers if they are not set up on renewals every single month. Is there any program, any mentorship, any service that you offer that you have to call? You have to renew them. Maybe you do yearly annual payments. When the time comes, every particular time of the month, when they enroll, are you calling to renew them? Have you got a plan prior to the renewal? before you're not just calling them on the day. So just let you know the membership's expired today. What's your plan? Call them the month before, just letting you know your annual registration's coming up for renewal. Can we renew this now? Ask any questions, support them. This will help with your retention. So making sure you're very organized with how you set up when people are up for renewal. How far ahead of the game are you getting in front of them to renew that for them? This will help massively with your cash flow further in advance. Okay, when you do this, you should always know what your cash flow looks like 2-3 months from now. It shouldn't be a guessing game. I remember when we were termly payments and everyone would kind of pay every 3 or 4 months rather than monthly. It was a headache. It was a complete guessing game. Who's coming back? It was a surprise. Who's it going to be? How many are we going to have? Also a nightmare. A lot of people turn up the first week of term and, you know, waving their checks at me. Katie, I'm here. And I'm like, that's awesome, but I haven't got enough staff today. I didn't think I only had 10 kids on the register. So you do what you can to ensure you can automate anything that is up for renewal in your business, and you get ahead of the game to help your cash flow so that you can ensure you know who's in your business and who isn't. So that you're not wasting time on staff, you're not wasting time on extra admin and sales. You are being sharper and more organized. Also, your customers will really respect that as well. They will see you as a complete, again, just like I said about calling them, going the extra mile. You will see, they will think of your business and see your business in a very different way. Because just how I feel about, obviously I teach this, so I'm super passionate about it, but I see this in other organizations. I see this everywhere my children go. I'm looking at that business. I'm looking at how it operates. I can see how they operate by the way they might call you, chasing late fees, or no organization on the front end, or lack of email support. I can see that straight away. So be the organizer. And you can just think of, we've all had bad experiences. We all have companies in our head that you're like, God, I'd never work with them again. They were absolutely awful. I'm going to share a quick story because you'll laugh your heads off about this. We ordered a double bed for my daughter. It was for Christmas, right? So it was part of her Christmas present. And they sent 2 different beds. So my other half, he's putting it together. He's like, stupid company. Won't tell you what else came out of his mouth because it was ridiculous. He had it all laid out on the floor. He's like, they've sent me 2 wrong beds, 2 halves. It took them 4 weeks to come and pick up this bed. Now he'd unwrapped, so we didn't have the packaging anymore. And no, we were not breaking it all down, slotting it all into things that they asked us to do. They sent 4 or 5 delivery companies, and we all know what delivery companies like, be there between 8 and 6. And we're like, we do have jobs, you know, we can't just hang around the house. They all came, no, can't pick it up, has to be wrapped. We've told you. Anyway, the 5th company took it away. Next thing, got on the phone to them and they said, we've only received the frames, haven't received the mattress. So we're like, do you want a video? I've done a video of them taking it all out to the house. They've now refunded it complete back. Thank goodness, right? It wasn't a cheap bed, but wasn't even the point. If it was a tenner, doesn't matter. It's the process. We will never, ever, ever liaise with that company ever again. They were awful. And to be honest, the amount of stress they caused and time on the phone, we were like, do you know what? At this point, I'm thinking from a business owner, I would just refund them. I don't care if the mattress has gone missing or what. You're having your money back. Because this has been an absolute ball ache. It's been like 5 weeks. But that's an example. And we all know those companies. You always have and think, oh God, I've never worked with them again. So you always just think, how would I think? When you're dealing with a tricky customer, how would I think? How would I deal with this differently? So always just think in your mind when you're working to really enhance your student numbers. As I said yesterday, yes, I'm teaching you how to build 30 students in 3 days. You do this. Yes, it might not all happen in 3 days, but you do this consistently. You will be enrolling 30 students again and again and again. It might even go up to 50 or 60 students, but it's consistently over time. I never teach strategies that are going to give you a quick win that will last you maybe 2 weeks because the algorithm is going to change. Okay, that's not what we're here. That's what we teach at Gold Medal. We teach you things that are going to give you wins and wins over time, again and again. It's about building the strongest foundations you can so you have a business that can grow and scale without you over time. Otherwise, you're not. You're just building yourself a job again and again and again. Okay, guys, so that's the end of day 2. Give me a shout out. I want to hear, whether you're live streaming or you're on Zoom, what has been your biggest takeaway? Pop it in the Zoom so we can support you no matter how big or small it is. Can even be from yesterday if you want to share as well. We can see what's setting in, what is really coming up for you. Consistency, Bonnie, excellent. Billy, YouTube, we've got consistency as well. Campaigns coming up a lot. Thank you, Benita. Thank you. Excellent, Alicia. Thank you. Consistency, CRM, not a spreadsheet. Yeah, spreadsheet is not compliant either. If you literally got with GDPR and all data protection, spreadsheet, you can get into trouble with that. It's all personal details. Yeah, you're losing registration conversion. That is often where it is. You don't need more students through the door. You need to get better at converting. Okay, fantastic. Super. So as I said, guys, I am going to hang around for about 2 or 3 minutes. If you've got any questions about Silver Mentorship, more than happy to answer them for you. If not, I will see you tomorrow for day 3 of our 30 students in 3 days workshop. So an honor being with you today, guys, and I will have a great rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow. You take care. Bye-bye.
Recording stopped.
Okay, guys, if you've got any questions, I just